Morning Coffee. I'm Jim Cucinotta, the RADIOVISION's local medical expert. And today I have Casey Price of Price & Price, an elder law firm in Haddonfield. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're very excited to have you today.
I'm excited to be here.
Good, good. This should be a lot of fun. As we were talking earlier, the field of elder law is exploding as the American population keeps growing. You need to make sure that your loved ones are taken care of. But before we get into what is elder law and all the different types of things that are going on in the world of elder law, I wanted to just kind of talk to you about your background. I saw you went to Ursinus.
I did undergraduate at Ursinus.
So you went to the Princeton of Collegeville.
Yeah, yes, it's a great school. I'm actually trying to get my kids to look at it now, so
Okay.
keep it in the family, you know.
Absolutely.
Great education, and yeah.
And then you went to Widener.
I did. I took a couple years off. Went to Widener University School of Law in Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
Got a great education and did really well there. Had a lot of fun.
Fantastic. And you started the firm in 2000, so congratulations on 16 years.
Thank
16 and a half years, actually, this weekend.
Thanks. Well, yeah, I didn't really start the firm. Let's clear that up. My father started the firm back in the early 70s.
Okay.
And in the year 2000, he brought me on,
Great.
and we started working together as Price & Price.
Fantastic. And has your father been specializing in elder law from the beginning, or was he a general attorney?
Yeah, he was a general practitioner. He
Okay.
had a practice that touched a lot of areas. And in the year 2000, we decided to focus solely on elder law. So since that time, that's all we do.
Okay. And what is elder law? Kind of in a simple...
Elder law, you know, it's kind of funny. Elder law is really almost a general practice.
Okay.
But our focus isn't everybody. Our focus is on those people who are dealing with issues of aging.
Okay.
So we deal with estate planning and estate administration and guardianships and decision making. But what sets us apart is our focus on long-term care planning and asset protection planning.
Okay.
We help people who are looking for long-term care protect their money.
Mm-hmm.
We help them when they exhaust their resources to go on Medicaid.
Right. And who's typically your client? Is it typically the senior? Is it the heirs? Is it somebody in between, a little of both?
Yeah, it's really both. So
Okay.
the person we're working for is obviously the elderly individual. And
Right.
I use the word elderly. That may not be a fair word to use. Many times our clients aren't elderly.
Sure.
Or I shouldn't say clients. I should say the subject of the work we're doing.
Right.
Let's do it like that. So they may not be elderly, but they may be experiencing some sort of issue where they need long-term care.
Okay.
So we often work with their spouse
Mhm.
or their children in order to help the individual who may be in need of our services.
And what's kind of the right time to start getting engaged with you? Is it when they hit 50? Is it, you know, like a milestone thing like it is on the health field? Is it more of a the more you have, the more you need to see, the quicker you need to see you, kind of?
Well, you know, it's interesting because what I do really has a spectrum of service and a timeline. So when you look at estate planning, well, it's never too early to start estate planning.
Right.
I help families of all ages. In fact, I had one today where it was a young couple with young children.
Okay.
So it's never too early to start that. However, the long-term care planning, the protecting your money from the cost of the assisted living or the nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
I often tell people start later.
Okay.
You know, now, there's a balance, right?
Right.
Because when is too late? And that's a very subjective thing.
Sure.
You don't realize it till you need something.
Right.
Okay, so you're in the nursing home. You have a period of time in which to then try to protect your money or set it up. And you say, if only I had started sooner, this
Right.
would have been easier.
Is it something you could do a checklist part of that maybe as you're starting your final retirement planning, if you're within, say, 2 years of retirement, it would be a good time to bring an elder attorney in?
That would be a great time to bring the elder law attorney in to discuss concepts,
Right.
but maybe not to put things into practice.
Okay.
Okay, because lots of times if you're going to work with me and you're going to do it in advance, to do advanced planning, you give things away.
Right.
You give up ownership and control of money.
Okay.
And people don't like to do that.
Sure.
So we try to find the sweet spot, the perfect time to do it. And that's different for everyone.
Right. And that's pretty funny. I had a thought and it fell out of my head. So I was thinking about that when you're talking about is it like a power of attorney is probably one of the big topics then when you're talking about elder care.
Yes, in power of attorney, it's never too easy to start. So let me back up for a second. What I'm really doing is I'm breaking the area of practice that I'm engaged in into two different parts.
Okay.
One is decision making. That's your will, your power of attorney, your living will.
Right.
It's never too early to start that. In fact, the sooner the better. When you turn 18,
Right.
the day you turn 18, you should get your power of attorney, your living will.
Okay.
Okay? Because, for instance, a child goes to college and they're 19 years old and they become ill. If the parent needs information about the child and the parent doesn't have some sort of authority through a power of attorney or a living will, they're not going to get the information. The
Okay.
college is going to protect that for the adult, that 19-year-old adult. So it's never too early to start that type of planning.
Okay.
The other planning I'm talking about is protecting your money from the nursing home. Again, that's what really sets the elder law attorneys apart.
Okay.
We help protect money from the long-term care, assisted living, nursing home.
Right.
We help people get Medicaid when they exhaust their money. That's a separate issue.
Right.
If somebody comes to me and they've just retired and they say, I want to protect my money from the long-term care,
Right.
it may be too early because they're giving their money away to protect it. If they retire and they say, I want to protect myself with my decision making, I
Right.
want to make sure that if the need ever comes where I can't make decisions for myself, I want the right people in place to make those decisions for me, that's the right time. It's never the wrong time to do that.
Right. Okay, good. That's actually really good because I was a little confused and then that really cleared it up for me. So all of the legal side of being an elder law attorney, most of it can be done right away. As soon as you start becoming an adult, you can start doing the living will, you can start with the power of attorney, you can start with your basic estate planning and things like that.
Correct.
As you go through the continuum of life,
Mhm.
you really need to talk to someone like yourself because that's when you're looking and you're saying, okay, I'm near the end of my life and I need to make sure that my estate's protected. I need to make sure that the money that I have isn't going to go all to my care. It's going to go to my heirs, and you're going to be able to live a healthy and productive life for as long as you can. That's awesome. I'm here with Casey Price. We're on Morning Coffee. We're talking about elder law. We will be back after these messages.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more. Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm Jim Cucinotta. I'm here today with Casey Price of Price & Price Elder Law Attorneys. We spent the first segment learning a little bit about Casey. We found out that he went to Ursinus and Widener. We found out that he joined his father's firm in 2000. The firm's been around since the 70s. Experts in elder law. We learned that elder law is very interesting because while the term talks about kind of end-of-life issues, most of the legal needs start literally when you become an adult, and it just kind of goes all the way through. So the key is when you find an attorney who focuses on elder law, you need to make sure that you find the right one. One of the things that we were talking about during the break was long-term care. Can you explain long-term care?
Sure. So when I talk about long-term care planning, I'm talking about planning for the cost of assisted living, nursing home, home care, and trying to make sure that you've positioned yourself and your assets in such a way that either you protect assets and don't spend them all on this care, or if you do spend them all, that you stretch them as far as you can in order to get the best care possible for as long as possible.
Okay, and is that something where you also have a accounting background somewhere in your past to be able to kind of work that out?
Not really. I have a Master's of Law, an LLM in tax.
Okay.
So we've dealt with that over the years, and that's come to be very helpful. However, in this particular area of law, no, I actually don't think I've used that much.
Okay.
Really, this is just a matter of learning the regulations in the state of New Jersey. Well, first you have to learn the federal regulations. Right. You learn the state regulations, and then you apply those regulations to the specific issues that each client presents.
Okay.
So if somebody comes in with a few $100,000 and they're looking at a nursing home level of care,
right,
what can we do with that money to avoid giving it all to the nursing home?
Sure.
And that's really where we are. And depending on when the client comes in, now again, go back to what I said in the last segment, and that is, if you have enough time, you can protect all of your money.
Right.
But the flip side of that is to protect your money, you have to give it away.
Right.
So you give up ownership and control of your money, but you can protect it.
Sure.
To some people, that's a great solution. They love that idea.
Right.
To others, giving their money away, that's the last thing they ever want to do.
Sure, but they lose control.
Absolutely. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the right balance. How much control are you willing to give up?
Right.
What are you willing to do today
Sure.
in order to get the best result tomorrow? And as people say, well, it's too early, I don't want to give my money away yet.
Right.
They risk every day that goes by potentially saving a little bit less.
Okay.
There is a point where you may not be able to save anything.
Right.
However, lawyers love to say however.
Yeah.
However, current law in New Jersey allows for a lot of planning right up to the point where you literally run out of money.
Okay.
Meaning, when you would otherwise expect to have to spend it all, there may still be things we can do to protect something.
It's just as it's never too early, it's never too late.
It may not be too late. It could be too late, depending on your scenario, but very often there's something we can do to try and help you out.
Okay. And if I'm in that situation where I run out of money, then what?
Great question. See, if you run out of money and you need long-term care, we have the Medicaid program that can step in and pay your long-term care costs.
Okay.
Medicaid in a nursing home is a very, I'll say, easy program to work with. Great. In that it's nursing homes are set up to receive Medicaid. Medicaid will pay pretty much all of your expenses. In assisted living, it's a little more difficult to work with.
Okay.
The assisted livings don't like Medicaid as much or aren't as willing to accept it as nursing homes are. They have some rules and requirements you have to watch out for when you run out of money and need Medicaid. And as far as home care is concerned, it could be a lot more difficult to find home care while receiving the Medicaid benefit. And unfortunately, Medicaid doesn't often pay as much as you need as far as the level of care you require. So if you need round-the-clock care, Medicaid may only pay 35 hours a week.
Okay, and that's when you hear the stories about people I needed to move because I went on Medicaid.
Yes, usually it's home care or assisted living that might trigger a move.
Okay.
But very often you can work around it depending on the scenario and depending on when you start planning.
Planning, sure, of course.
So,
And-
but with that said, though, and I'm sorry,
No.
yeah, you're not supposed to interview the person, interrupt
No,
the
you're
person
on a
asking
roll,
the
man.
questions.
Keep going.
But it's never too early. It's never too early to start planning. I interrupted you and I lost my train of thought. How about that?
That's great. We're talking about elder law. I'm here with Casey Price of Price and Price, and we're talking about when you were forced to move.
Yeah.
And what happens next.
Thank you. That was great because I picked back up my thinking here. Here's the bottom line, right? Most people think they have to plan in advance. In order to get a result, they have to plan in advance. And if they haven't planned in advance, they kind of beat themselves up over it.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you a secret. Most of my clients don't plan in advance.
Okay.
Okay? We do a lot of estate planning
Sure.
for people who plan in advance. But when it comes to the nursing homes and protecting money from the cost of long-term care, most people wait really long before they come in. Most of them come in a crisis.
Right.
And I bring that up to you because a lot of people are embarrassed or they feel like now it's too late to do anything.
Right.
And the rule of thumb is most everybody comes in crisis.
Sure.
That's the time where we get stuff done. It's never too late to start, even if it seems like it might be.
Right. Well, it makes sense. I have a 17-year-old daughter. Reports only get done the night before. So,
Right.
So why would anything else change as you get older, right?
Well, and here, like we talked about a little bit earlier, in order to protect money, you have to give it away.
Right.
Most people are going to wait as long as they can to do anything to protect their money because they don't want to give it away.
Right.
So by the time they get around to it, what will often happen is the parents will know about long-term care planning. They'll have heard about it.
Right.
The kids haven't heard about it. When dad finally needs care, he's not the one to do it. The kids have to come in and do it for him.
Right.
They say, oh man, we waited too long, it's a crisis, it's too late, dad should have done something sooner.
Sure.
Most of the time, dad won't do something sooner.
Right. Now, is New Jersey a good state for elder law? Is it a friendly state? Is it like in the bottom 10%, top 10%? How would you say New Jersey as a state would be?
Well, you know, it's funny, it's like asking a kid growing up, are your parents good parents or not good parents?
Right.
They're the only parents you know.
Sure.
New Jersey's my state.
Right.
Okay, I actually think New Jersey's pretty easy to work in because I'm used to it.
Right.
I hear New Jersey can be a little bit tough. In fact, I know they can be a little bit tough as far as Medicaid benefits are concerned.
Right.
When you apply for Medicaid, they're pretty tough. They don't help you.
Sure.
They almost, it seems like, sometimes get in the way. They obstruct
Right.
the ability to get Medicaid. They're very strict in the level of review
Right.
that they go over when you apply for Medicaid. They look at all of your assets. They want to see everything you've done in the 5 years prior to applying for the benefit.
Right.
And there's some pretty strict penalties in how they calculate penalties, meaning you could be found eligible for Medicaid.
Right.
You could be found eligible for the benefit, but they won't start paying for a period of time because you may have spent money or given it away in a manner that the state doesn't like.
Okay.
And the state says, we'll give you our money, but you have to follow our rules to get it.
Excellent. That's great. So I'm here with Casey Price on Morning Coffee on RADIOVISION. We're talking about long-term care budgeting, for lack of a better term, for, say, a layman. And when we come back from this commercial break, we'll finish that topic as well as talking about guardianship.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When I was injured, I couldn't play basketball for my entire sophomore year.
After years of wear and tear, I knew something was seriously wrong with Deja's knee when the swelling wouldn't go down.
Young athletes are still growing. They need specialized care only available here at Dayton Children's.
I wanted the best care for Deja because I wanted her to return to the things that she loves to do, and that's basketball.
At Dayton Children's Sports Medicine, we're treating tomorrow's champions.
Right care.
Right now.
Right here.
Dayton Children's.
Just right for kids.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm Jim Cucinotta. I'm here with Casey Price, and we're talking about elder law today. We learned in the beginning of our segment about elder law and why we should care. We spent a lot of time learning about Medicaid and the ways to pay for your long-term assisted care in the second segment. This segment we're going to talk about guardianship, because if you think about the 3 levels of control that you're losing, the last and probably one of the biggest besides your money is control over what you can do.
Right. Yeah, and you know, it's funny, when we're young, one of the first concepts we come up with is, I'll do it myself. Right? Toddlers do that. They want to do everything themselves. And as we age, we want to maintain that control.
Yes.
And the way we do that is, well, when I say the way we do that, if the day ever comes that you can't make your own decisions, the best thing you could have done for yourself was have a power of attorney and a living will where you named the people that are going to make decisions for you if you can't do it yourself.
Right.
Now, what happens if you don't have those documents? Well, now you need a guardianship.
Okay.
Now, we want to avoid a guardianship at all costs, because where you get to appoint your own power of attorney, your own proxy, and your living will, the court appoints your guardian.
Okay.
They get to pick. So the wrong people may make the best presentation to the judge,
Right.
and be appointed your guardian.
Okay, which is like the classic sitcom plot.
Yeah,
Right.
it could be, right? Where that, it's, you know, you got 3 kids and the judge is picking between them.
Right.
And doesn't pick the right kid because, you know, it's hard. The judge is coming in cold.
Right, and they may have cleaned up nicely that day and they had a great script.
Absolutely.
And the other 2 are in trouble now because of the way that the judge, decided.
That's right. So we don't want to give anybody else the ability to make our decisions for us, or the ability to choose who's going to make our decisions for ourselves. We want to have those documents in place. And the cost of a guardianship compared to a power of attorney is a tremendous difference. A guardianship can cost 10 times as much.
Wow.
Actually 20 times as much. Or more if people are fighting over it.
Sure.
So it can be really tough if you need a guardianship. Now, what is a guardian? A guardian is the person who's going to make your decisions for you.
Right.
They can make financial decisions, medical decisions, placement decisions.
Mm-hmm.
The judge can say they can make all of those, do all those things, or carve out certain decisions they can make and can split that between multiple people. Guardianship is a pretty flexible process, but we want to avoid it.
Right. And typically, if you're in a guardianship situation and your spouse is still alive and still has their faculties, are they typically the person that is defaulted to?
New Jersey has a priority statute.
Okay.
So the spouse would have priority.
Right.
Which means this: if you have 3 kids and a spouse in a second marriage situation,
right,
and the kids and the spouse don't get along, and the father, who's incapacitated, might want the kids to be his guardian, or one of the kids, or to be his agent, but doesn't have a document that says that, the spouse is going to get priority.
Right.
It means the kids have to show she wouldn't be appropriate in order for her not to get that appointment.
Okay.
It can be a pretty hairy situation in certain families.
It gets ugly pretty fast, because not only were you fighting with siblings, say, now you're fighting with the outsider.
Absolutely.
And it gets ugly fast.
Yes.
It's fascinating. If you think about all of the things that you deal with on a given day, you're dealing with people that are new families, you're dealing with people who are dealing with end-of-the-life situations, and all of them are with the same goal, right? It's to keep as much money as you can, to have kind of your house in order, right, so that they're able to age gracefully, and it's kind of to have a plan, so if something may go wrong, you know what's going on.
That's right.
But I would imagine 90% of the people come in and they're harried, and they're frantic. So you spend a lot of time probably counseling these people on how to get through this stuff. And I would imagine if you had to pick an elder care attorney, you want somebody like yourself and your father who have literally over 50 years of practicing and experience in calming people down and getting them on the right track.
That's right. Not only do you have my father and me, but more importantly, we have a team of attorneys that are fantastic, that we've been able to put in place, and we're very confident in the service they provide. We've trained them, and they're just spectacular attorneys and spectacular staff that really do a good job and really care about the people that they're helping.
Great, that's awesome. So we talked at the break. We have a tradition here on my segment. You get to look into camera one, and you get to tell everybody who you are, what you do, why they should care, and how they can get a hold of you. So
this is the hard part.
This is the hardest part. We've seen lots of people crack here.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try not to.
Okay, awesome.
So my name again is Casey Price. I'm an elder care attorney. I call myself the elder care guy at Price and Price Elder Law. We're in Haddonfield, New Jersey. We have it's my father and me. We're the two founders of the firm, and we have a number of other attorneys that are fully equipped to provide fantastic care and service for clients in need. Now, who are those clients in need? Well, I'll tell you, if you woke up today and found yourself a caregiver by the end of the day, we're the attorneys to help you. We can guide you through the entire elder care process. We have care managers that can help you map out the care your loved one's going to need, and then we can help you with the financial piece of that scenario. I fully believe in what we do. We love helping our clients, and I think we do it really well. Our website is www.pricelawpractice.com. Our phone number is 856-429-5522. We're excited to help you. If you find yourself in this situation, it'd be our pleasure, and we strive to give a great client experience. This is tough. You know, I like to say I can't make you feel great. I may not make you feel good, but I promise we're going to make you feel a whole lot better. So thank you very much for that opportunity.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This was a great half hour to learn about elder law. I'm Jim Cucinotta. I was here today with Casey Price on Morning Coffee on RADIOVISION, and we will be back after these messages.